never quite built something that looks like this. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today, I want to address a little bit of an issue that I've been running into as I wander around our area here. There's just animals wandering everywhere. I mean everywhere. So today I want to build a barn with a pasture that we can kind of fit these guys into so they have a nice little safe area to be in, and maybe it'll keep them out of my way for the most part. This flat area here is where we're going to be putting our barn in, and I want to make the pasture kind of this natural area here. So we'll go ahead and enclose this for them. In the last episode I mentioned I was going to fix up my gear, and as you can see here, we've got fairly fleshed out gear at this point. I've got all my tools, they're all enchanted. They're not fully enchanted, but they're in a usable state. Everything's got mending, unbreaking, and some form of efficiency on it. So we're in a pretty good state, but let's go ahead and get into it. I'll show you just a few things. You might notice there's a few more trees here and there around the area. Kind of just letting them grow au naturel. Not really doing custom trees at this time, but we might get into some at a later date. Here's the library from last episode. I've been in there trading those guys like a madman. And in between episodes, I went ahead and gathered up some supplies. I'm not sure that I have everything that I need, but I've been doing some work. Got mud here that I need to convert into packed mud. We need some packed mud bricks as well. But let's go ahead and check out this little area as well. I made in a little path off to the side here that goes to our zombie farm display area. Threw a couple of trees in, roughed up the cliff side a little bit, and this is a little bit less flat. It's got a little more details going on here. I think it looks a little bit better than how I felt about it last episode, but here's what we got. And I'm still needing a name for our friend, the cleric, that hangs out in the cave down here, the little hermit. I've been doing a lot of trading with him as well. Hey, buddy. How you been? Looking good. Like your little diamond pendant there. Master. Man, I'll say. He's been working overtime. So over here, I kind of put in a little impromptu wheat farm. I do know that I don't have to have this much water. Wasn't quite thinking when I put it in, but you know what? It's fine. I'm not wasting too much space here. And in the meantime, while we wait for this to grow up, I just want to go over a few things. Okay, so, whoops, I muted my mic and did a bunch of talking that is not going to make it in the episode. But, okay, so what we're doing here is we're building a boulder to cover up the cave entrance that I use for mining that will end up being in the middle of our pasture. I don't want animals wandering into it, so kind of made a little dirt frame that I'm just going in and mixing up with different textures. And then after we've got that, I'll go ahead and come back in here with some slabs and things of that nature so that it's not so blocky. Okay, so this seems a little bit busy. Maybe a little too much texturing going on here. I'm going to let you guys decide on that one. Do I need to tone it down a little bit? Probably. But the last touch that I need is I'm going to go ahead and throw in some fence gates right here, and that way no animals will go wandering down. I threw a little lantern in here that should, I hope, prevent mobs from spawning down there with our cave pig friend here. Over here behind the house, I threw in a quick little bone meal generator because I kept running into having so many wheat seeds. So we just got, you know, a hopper running into a composter that runs out the bottom into this chest. It's not the massive generator of bone meal, but it's better than just having an infinite number of wheat seeds laying around. Okay, so it looks like we've got some more growing to do. In the meantime, I think why don't we start working on somewhat of a natural wall for our pasture over there. Hey, hey you. Get out of there. Quit trampling my flowers. Yeah, I just build up a little bit of like a cliff here. Just enough to where things can't pop over either side. What the hell? Out of here, you bastard. Yeah, let me go ahead and start carving away at this a little bit. Okay, so I'm thinking, you know, kind of a natural little wall like this. The fence will come probably here and over and then wrap around the building. And that way nothing will be able to jump up here, right? And all these little areas here are kind of, yeah, it's like a natural barrier of sorts. Semi-natural barrier. There's our jack-o'-lantern skeleton, by the way. This area right here, maybe I'll also turn into kind of a natural-esque wall like this. And that way we can go from fence to wall to fence to wall. Let me go ahead and get this one in here. Okay, so as you can see, I threw in a little bit more of a natural wall here. This one looks a little bit better, I think, than that one. And I think I want to add just a few kind of like natural stones, rocks, a little bit of boulders, raised terrain, things like that in here so that it looks a little less vacant. You know, I think I probably have enough wood to at least get started on putting the fence in again while we're waiting for that wheat to grow so we can have enough materials for working on the barn. So let me just splash a few rocks and things like that around here. All right, I think this doesn't look bad. Might need some details on this hillside here. And this rock's kind of growing on me. I de-busied that wall just a little bit. It's still kind of a lot going on there, especially compared to like the style that we have going on here, which is kind of just more sparse rocks mixed in. This is a little bit more than sparse. But overall, I think the concept is going very well. I like these rocks mixed in here. I think that adds a little bit of natural life in a way. Seems more organic. You know what's funny is this rainy kind of atmosphere, I think adds to the feel of what I want going on here, right? I kind of think of a rainy kind of rural area. I think these rock colors match very well with this vibe of wet dampness. I like it a lot. Okay, as you can see now, we've kind of got our fence outline finished here, and I tried to vary it with the different wood types in the fence line here, and I think it turned out looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and check on our wheat to see if we can't get the barn going here. I need just a little bit more packed mud, I believe, and I should be able to pull this thing off. For today's build, I went with a little bit of a different feel. So I popped into the creative map and made kind of a template of sorts, but I don't think that I want to copy it block for block. I think I more of just want to take what I learned from playing around with the palette that I had and want to build the barn based on the things that I learned in creative rather than trying to copy it. I'm going to do a bit of a freehand build on this one. And while I wait, I'm going to go ahead and try and improve my MLG water bucket. Made a mess, but I did it. Nice. All right, let's give it another go. Nailed it. Awesome. That feels so cool if you're doing that. This is a pretty nice view of our place. Check that out. And in case you were curious, that's where the impromptu wheat farm is. Hey, I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you had a good one. I know by the time this episode comes out, it'll be past the holiday, but I just wanted to let you guys know how thankful I am that you guys come here and watch the cool stuff that I make. I hope you like these episodes, and if you do, go ahead and drop me a like below so that I know I'm doing something right. It really helps me out. Around these times, you know, mashed potatoes and gravy is my favorite meal, but I'm always kind of curious to hear what other people's favorite meal is around these holidays, because I've heard of some, you know, that I didn't even know existed. So let me know what your favorite holiday food is. And I just wanted to say that I'm very appreciative that I'm able to make these videos. I've been having a lot of fun, and yeah, I don't know. Thank you. All right, guys, so I finally got my mud, as you can see. I'm hoping that this is enough, but you know, knowing me, it's probably not enough. We're going to go ahead and get started on the build for today anyway. And if we got to get more, then we got to get more. But the design I came up with is kind of like a rhombus shape. Decided to try something different with this building just to kind of push my boundaries a little bit, try something new. And I have like a general idea of the palette that I'm going to be using, which is mud brick, packed mud, granite, and bricks. So this is going to be my palette, and then for the roof, I'm going to end up going with deep slate tile, similar to what we did over there, except I'm going to do a different shape for the roof. But I want to kind of, you know, tie in like things. I think that's a great block for roof building. But in addition to that, I kind of want to carry over this theme of connecting the farm to our village. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I don't know. We're going to wing it. All right, so right now I'm just kind of laying out the framing here for myself, just so I have some reference points. Of course, this is not going to be the texturing for the final product. Normally I kind of just build things out of dirt and then come back in and replace blocks. But yeah, so the way that I'm thinking right now is that there's going to be a sheep right here, sheep right here, sheep right here, sheep right here. And those will be our automatically sheared sheep. And then we'll have a couple of stalls in here. We'll have a little area for the shepherds to be in as well. And then we're going to have fence gates kind of blocking both entrance and exits here. And I liked having them kind of offset like this. This isn't quite the rhombus that I was working with before, but that is okay. I am enjoying this shape just as much. And this is a lot more space than what I had previously designed, so I'm a bit happier with this. But I do like having the doors kind of offset so that when you're looking in through one of them, you don't see all the way through. You kind of get a whole view of the inside of the building, whereas you'd have to look at an angle to see all the way through. Just some ideas for when you're building your stuff, maybe something to keep in mind. Let me get back to it. All right, here's how it's coming along. All these little U shapes that I've left in here, I'm gonna fill those in with oak fences to provide kind of a more natural feeling window. Go ahead and get those in. Okay, so I'm definitely not going to have enough deep slate for the roof. Learning that right now, but yeah, I think this is coming along fairly nicely so far. We're a little early into the build, so it's a little too soon to call, but I think this is going to be good. Need to go get more deep slate, so I'll do that real quick, but I think I need to come up a little bit more dramatically here, so we'll come up one more block here before we move in. Probably I'll come up one more block and then do a stair block on top of that and then move it in. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go mining. Get to use my new little entrance here. Alright. Hello, cave pig. How are you? Looking good today. Okay, that ought to be enough for now. Holy crap. Goddamn kids! Get out of here! Jesus. Goodbye, cave pig. Make sure you always spawn-proof your roofs. You don't want creepers dropping on your head. Okay, so here's the general shape of the roof. I'm going to fill in the walls here, but this is not the final shape of the roof. I want to actually carve away part of it to kind of match the fact that this building is not squarely shaped. Okay, so here's what it's looking like now. Again, we're doing this kind of process of add everything and then subtract away from to kind of feel out the shape of things. That's the general approach I like to take when building things. So in the end, I believe I'm going to end up cutting a hole here to give access to the loft that will be upstairs. And I'll have a winch sticking out that can kind of haul hay up into the loft there. Okay, so this roof's gonna come across like a little bit weird, but I'm hoping it'll grow on you. It grew on me as I was messing around with it, and so I don't know. I'm gonna keep shaving away, and you guys are gonna have to let me know what you think of it. So I know it's not the typical way that things are built in Minecraft, but I'm trying something different, you know? Okay, so here's what I came up with. Here it is. So when you catch it at an angle, the roof has like part of it shaved away to try and kind of match this strange shape that I went with. And on this side as well. And up close, it looks kind of strange because there's a lot of different depths here. But I think from farther away, it works pretty well. Again, we're just trying something different here. We're trying to mix things up, keep it fresh. I'm probably going to stay with it because I'm liking it. I am curious to know what other people are thinking about it. So please, by all means, let me know in the comments. Okay, so here's how this side came out, roofline wise. And again, as you can see, we kind of shaved away part of it to try and match the building. So let's see what it looks like from this. To see it kind of pinches in, and it might look a little bit weird from some angles, but I think overall, it's different in a good way. I don't know. I like it. Kind of goes with the quirkiness of these of the shape of this building. Speaking of the shape of this building, I'm a big fan of it as well, and I know that I know it looks pretty weird, but I like that eccentricity about it. You know. Okay, so I think next I want to work on putting in a loft. That way I can punch the holes out in the side here. So let me see. I'm going to pick this side. I think I'm going to have a ladder coming up here, and then we're just going to kind of arbitrarily pick. I think this is a good spot for the loft to go in. What are you looking at? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just kidding. Okay, so I think this is the shape of the loft that we're going to have up here. I'm going to punch a hole out there, punch a hole out there, but first I want to throw in some supports. So now that looks better, but I think we're actually going to need to throw in some posts in order for this to actually look structurally sound. because there's no way that this flimsy thing is holding up all this weight up here. Okay, so that looks more structurally sound. I think that looks nice and solid. So let's go ahead and punch those holes out, and that way we'll get a little more natural lighting in here. I know it's a little bit dark. Okay, that's a little bit better. We're still not quite there. I want to go ahead and get some more lighting in here, just so things are a little bit easier to see talking about it. Wow, look at that thing. It's really starting to come in. That's super cool. All right, a little more homey in here. The loft is going to be needing lit up, but I think I want to put in some support beams going across to hold the roof up. And then I'll hang lighting from those, probably. Can't have a barn without a weather vane, know what I'm saying? Ouch. They kind of look like TV antennas, but I'm more going for the vibe of an actual weather vane that kind of tells you what direction the wind is blowing. A little more lit up. Actually see what we're doing now. Okay, so we got our support beams in, and now I'm just going to temporarily fill this in so I can walk around without worrying about falling. I like the idea of putting in this little mechanism here that can be lifting the hay up into the loft, and it can kind of pull in, kind of like a winch. Also, I put in some support beams to hold the main beam with the winches on it. Okay, from down here you can see little peaks of hay from different angles. Gives it a little more of a realistic lived-in vibe here. And then from up here, here's the view. I think this looks pretty darn good. Pretty darn good indeed. All right, so we got that one in. Oh, I know one more detail that would work really well up here in the loft. Let me go grab it. There we go. Some cobwebs mixed in. Now that looks like a loft to me. Okay, now let's work on the ground floor here. It would probably be best, Jesus, if I threw in the sheep farms first. Okay, so I don't know who came up with this design, but I've been using it for years. You have a sheep that will sit on this block here with a dispenser facing in. The dispenser is going to have shears in it, and then underneath the dispenser, you're going to have an observer staring at this block that the sheep stands on. We're going to put a different block back here just so I make sure not to break this. And you put a little piece of redstone dust on there. Basically, the way that it works is as soon as the sheep eats the grass here, which will replenish its wool, the observer notices that, activates this redstone, which activates the dispenser that will shear the sheep's wool. And then we're going to have a hopper minecart underneath of this block that will pull the wool through, and we'll have a little collection system underneath. But we'll get to that in just a second here. And the way that I like to trap the sheep in, at least, is with glass. I like to see the sheep. Because we're using these connected textures, I like to fill the whole thing in. I know you wouldn't need to do these corner blocks here, but it just looks so much better. Oh no. I have no idea how long my recording was paused for. I can't believe I had 2 blunders in one video. Holy crap. I missed a lot of my talking, a lot of my recording. We have a lot to discuss. I made a path, as you can see here. Don't mind him, he's a little confused at the moment. But we have a path going into our barn now, and here are the details that we've got going on. Let's get caught up real quick. So our farm is working here. Last you saw, I was trying to get it set up. We've got a black sheep, 2 white sheep, and a brown sheep. And then here are the final details of this area right now. Don't mind the beds. They are not part of the final details. But yeah, we've got, you know, our winches upstairs. We've got hay bales all over the place. Hello, sir. So we have a shepherd here who's trading for black and white wool. He works at that workstation right there. And the confused librarian that's wandering around somewhere over there. There he is. Yeah. Will not lose his job, I believe, until he sleeps. And so that's what the beds are doing in here. Once he gets a good night's rest, kind of, you know, clears his head a little bit, he's going to get on with his new life as a shepherd. But for the time being, we're going to go ahead and try and convince some animals living up by our house to come move in here into the pasture. Come on, friends. Come on, buddy. I feel like Moses right now. 2 horses, 2 sheep, and it's raining cats and dogs. Well then, let's do battle. Come on, you bastards. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. We got our shepherds. We got our sheep. We got our barn and all of its beautiful details. And at this point, let's see. Got a few horses, a few sheep, and I did manage to get 1 cow. I have no idea what happened to the rest of the cows around here, but yeah, you just tidy up a few things real quick and then we'll have a little discussion. Nice to have passive wool at this point. Throw in a bit of cobwebs here, just as a nice little realism touch. I feel like, you know, if you're going to be in a barn, there's got to be cobwebs in places. But I think this little project turned out really nice. And, well, probably at this point, I shouldn't call it a little project. I mean, it took me a couple of days to make in real life. But I'm really happy with, you know, kind of its oddball personality. I think it's unique for sure. And I don't know, I was just kind of trying something different, trying to push myself a little bit. You know, I've built plenty of square buildings in my time and plenty of rectangular buildings, but I've never quite built something that looks like this. I guess that's kind of a theme with this series, is I'm just kind of building, well, I guess buildings with warts and all, right? So little ugly oddballs just like myself. And yeah, I don't know. We're going to embrace that here. Got weird builds, but they're definitely unique. They've got character to them, and there's something worth appreciating there, you know? I had a suggestion from my lady. It was saying it might be nice to have a few stacks of hay around in the pasture, maybe lanterns on it, so that at night gives a little bit of life out here. And I think that's a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and find some lanterns. Maybe I have to make some more. I'll get those in. We'll take a look at it. And then I think we need to jump to doing our maps. A little more lived in, you know? Some food for the animals out there. That turned out really nice. Okay. So unfortunately, I did not get any maps of the before. These the area that we're working in right now is just off of where we've been creating our maps for every episode. So I won't have a before map, unfortunately, but we'll at least get the after. And that way, when we do come in later on and add maybe more details in, we'll get to see the updated version then. But I think from this point forward, you know, we're going to go ahead and have our little expanded map. And it looks like I need to do one last little mining trip to get some iron so I can make compasses to make maps. I got 4 maps right now, but I'm going to need at least 2 more. Don't got enough iron, so I'm going to do one last trip. Oh. Cave pig? Where did you go, bud? Huh. Cave pig. What's up, buddy? Okay, so we're back over here at the library. I decided to go with a 3x3 map for now, mainly because we needed to fit this space here. Then it would have felt a little bit awkward to leave that one out. And then I realized, well, you know, we put in that little impromptu field down here. We might as well get that as well. And then when I carried it all the way over, here's our little lava pool that we've taken from a little bit. So, you know, kind of just gives a better encapsulation of the whole area that we've been working with for the time being. As you can see right here, we've got our barn settled in. We've got our pasture that takes up about this much space here. We've got, excuse me, we've got our new paths coming in along this way that go up to look at the zombie farm up top. We've got the, I'm sorry, that's this path right here. We've got the path that starts to wrap around to the barn right here. And then we've got our path leading to the zombie farm. And so that's what we've got different this episode. I think things are filling in a little bit, you know, feeling a little more lived in, a little more homey, a little more like we've actually accomplished something here. And it's feeling nice. I like the vibe we got going on. As far as next episode, I'm thinking about two things. I got two goals in mind. One of them is I think I want to have a waterfall coming out right here, maybe leading into a little pond area. I think that would be really nice to fill in right here. And we can add a little bit, you know, more nature back in with the building that we've got going on. The other plan that I have for next episode is I want to go to the Nether. You know, maybe utilize our little, our new farm over there. Grab some of that wool, some wood, maybe slap some beds together and get us a little upgrade in armor and tools. I'm hoping to get fully decked out in netherite by next episode. I think that's a great goal to have. And then I want to put in that pond and waterfall, of course. So we have a little more natural aspect to our village over in that area. But that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you really liked the episode, it would help me out to let me know I'm doing a good job. Just leave a like on the video. And if you want to see more of what I've got going on here, please subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. Again, I appreciate all the people who have been sticking around and watching what I've got so far. I'm having a lot of fun in this series, and I have lots of plans going forward into the future. So I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.